Hi, so we're sitting here with Willow, and she's uh, a musical therapist.
Therapeutic
I'm
musician.
sorry, yeah, therapeutic musician. And I think the distinction is that therapeutic musician, it means that she's a musician, but she's she brings therapy. She brings a healing elements to her music, and I think she has a lot of different skill sets, including different type of instruments that she can uh, channel her healing powers to people. Namely, she is, for example, in a hospital, large hospital, where she plays for many people in a palliative care, which means that they people who are in their end stage of life, and she's helping them relieve and soothe their I guess their symptoms, right, by making them feel better. Can you tell us one of the stories in which one of your probably one of the most memorable ones, and how you've help these patients?
Yeah, thank you for asking. It's difficult to say, but a tipping point of my career at the hospital is when one day I got a call from children's hospital. So there was a 7 years old boy. He was just screaming, yelling, and throwing things. Nothing can help. They try medication, food, toys, just whatever they can throw about.
Yeah.
Medication, nothing work. So mostly I'm the last people they will think about, because the doctor, nurse, or therapist, they always think they can fix people. So they don't want someone else to do the thing. So often most call I got is most difficult situation when everybody tried their best and they still couldn't change the fact they didn't help. So when I arrived, I just see a 7-year-old boy, and I have my instrument, the harp, rolling on the wheel. So I introduced myself, and the boy apparently never saw a harp before in his life. He said, "What's that?" I said, "It's a harp. I can make music, you know." And he heard music. "Oh, can you play Michael Jackson Beat It?" I said, "Oh, okay." I heard the music before. Of course, I never played that song on the harp or any other instrument, but I was good enough to pick up the melody and the accompaniment immediately on the harp. But as soon as the boy heard the melody, he just almost instantly turned into little Michael Jackson. He was moving and singing like Michael Jackson. And just suddenly he forgot all his pain, his anxiety, whatever was the issue was. And when I finished, he said, "Oh, wonderful, can you come back again?" I said, "Sure." So next day, I came back again. The boy said, "Can you play Michael Jackson Beat It again?" So I did. And the same, he was happy and dancing and singing around while I was playing. But later on, what I had was a full-time position, so I was also had the accessibility to looking at patients' chart and all this history and thing. And also the nurse actually told me it's a miracle that the second day still asked you to play Michael Jackson Beat It, because he actually had a brain tumor. The tumor caused his memory normally won't last more than a couple minutes or seconds, but after that he can associate the harp, Michael Jackson Beat It. That means brain. If you study science, you know the left and right brain, you know, and how
Communicating.
And music is something that is really help to bridge the right and left brain. And so in a way, he helped him remember, and that's why after that I was famous in the hospital. That's why nurse said, "Oh, she can play everything," because people request and I play it, and that was the tipping point. And I think people like to talk about the story because really how the little boy transformed from really hopeless to a happy Michael Jackson. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And then how did that make you feel?
Oh, I just thinking, thank you. Thanks to the music and Michael Jackson, but also my opportunity to learn music and also had the opportunity to play for this boy or other people. I think as classical trained musician, that mostly you had to go to a formal concert, people to sit and clap and listen. But to be play one-to-one or a small group of people in the hospital room, they open such a big possibility for musicians, but also for the people. There are not much choice in the environment in the hospital setting to have something. But I think one challenge is really there are most musicians, either they are classical trained so they can read music, play music perfectly, or they are, folk musicians, jazz musicians. They know improvise and certain style of music, but who able to do, being flexible enough to do that and at the moment. And of course, why live music is different than the recorded music is because the live music you play for real time, real people. And so what I can do is not always the same tempo interpretation. What I try to do is match.
Very adaptive.
Yeah, and that's why I try to, when I see a person, I try to match their heartbeat and breathing cycle, or their mimic and what's their mood to match that, and try to transform that. So I think, and so it doesn't need to be all the same tempo or same tune.
Yes.
I can just change any time. And so in a way, that's a terminology called entrancement. That's the physics phenomenon. When something synchronized, then you can impact the other, like the pendulum from a clock. I don't know, you see the video, there are 400 what do you call that?
Like the swinging metal. Yes.
Yeah.
They'll
Metronome.
Yes.
Do you see that one? The original, they are all swinging different things, but you give them time.
Yeah.
They were able to all synchronize with each other.
Right.
And that's what live music can do.
Yes.
Yeah, if you play a recorded music, you just have to follow it. But some people are just too weak. So, when we hear upbeat music, we naturally want to move with the music. But when people are sick or are too incapable of doing, the music comes to them to match there. And after we synchronize with their biorhythm, then we can influence them, even increase or decrease, or just stabilize the rhythm or
their
heart rate.
physiology.
Yes, and so I think in Alaska, the good thing is they don't have so many regulations. It's like music therapy, they have their goal, their way, so they have not so many flexibility. But for me, it just a new situation, environment, so it give me a lot of freedom. And also, a lot of patients, they had their bio thing hook up with the music, so actually I was able to look what's their heart rate and breathing, all this blood pressure change while I'm playing.
Yes.
So that's actually a really good way at the same time while I'm playing music to
give feedback too.
Yes, and that was very helpful for my career while I'm working at the hospital.
To see real results come to life, right? And I remember you telling me earlier about prior to this video about an experience with I would just say a near-death patient, and how your music kind of helped with that situation. Can you tell us a bit about that experience?
Yeah, actually, when I first got the job, people would call me the angel of death because I wearing the harp, and I already got referral when someone is dying or they're about to remove this life support. So actually, even though someone is dying, the patient will say, "Oh, I'm not ready," or the family will say, "No, don't curse us. We're not going to die yet, not yet. We don't want you to play music for us." So I hardly get any referral. I just sitting there and nobody want the music because it's just such a image and the curse, angel of death. We are not going to die. And so mostly what I was able to play is people who are unresponsive, in coma, and no family around. So when I got a referral from the doctor or nurse, nobody can say, "No, we don't want you." And so actually I play for...
They cannot refuse you.
Yeah,
they have no
they are
way
not
to.
capable and no family and friend around. So
Sure.
I've been playing for lots of this type of patient without any feedback.
Yeah.
And mostly they are intubated and you cannot see their face, they're just lying there. But what I can do is I just, try to play intuitive and setting the intention,
Yes.
good intention, and
Yes.
whatever that will happen, I like happen, and now intuitively choose the music I know or improvise whatever the situation is appropriate.
Yes.
And so, but one day I got a referral from the rehab nurse. She mentioned that a patient of her want me to pay a visit. So I come out with my harp, and I saw a lady in her 50s. She said, "Oh, you are the harpist?" I said, "Yes, I am. Thank you. You saved my life." I said, "How come I don't know you?" She said, "Oh, 2 weeks ago I was in intensive care unit. And, I was being in hospital for so long, and I was intubated. And of course, every day that's the run from the treatment team to every patient. That morning, I heard the treatment team, they discussed in front of me my situation. And I heard them talking about my heart is just have a normal function of 7%. And that's just made no sense to sustain my life with all this expensive machine and resource in the hospital. So the treatment team had decided to remove my life support. But nobody was aware that I was able to hear because people say I'm unresponsive in coma. So they talk whatever they wanted, not aware I could.
She heard everything.
That's right. And at that point, she thought that I don't want to live anyway. It's so painful to be here. And so I gave up for fighting my life. I was okay just to let go.
And this was while she was in a comatose state.
Yeah, she had this feeling, yeah, it doesn't matter, I'm going to die. Yeah. But, yeah, I just don't want to suffer anymore.
Right. So then what happened?
And of course, after they decided to remove her life support, they called me and said, "Oh, can't you pray for her because she's going to die today."
The angel of death.
That's right. So later that day, I brought my harp and play music for her, and I played Over the Rainbow, and then she told me she just, in that situation, she heard the music. And that moment, she told me that was the first time since her hospitalization, she felt peace inside. And from that moment on, she decided to fight for her life. So that afternoon, when they removed her life support, she didn't die. She wake up and keep improving her situation. So several days later, she was sent to rehab unit, and the next day she will be discharged. So she told me she'd like to let me know and thank me that she was alive because of the music. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're
Now,
welcome.
so she told you about how she felt when she heard your music when she was in a coma, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she remembered hearing your music when she had no ability to speak or to even open her eyes.
Yeah, that's actually, there are so many patients that I have experienced the same thing. You know, it's like when people are the palliative care or hospice patient, when the doctor inform their family and friends to say goodbye to them, often they request me to be playing some music. Another amazing story that I to share is, you know, a lady in her 80s, she was, you know, unresponsive for over a week, but so doctor think that's about the time she will be dying soon. And so all her family and friends were scaring around. And so I started to play Amazing Grace. I think they mentioned that she was a Christian and that was be the music she will enjoy. So when I started to play Amazing Grace, amazingly, she folded her hand together suddenly, like if she were praying. And all the people around were shocked because she didn't even blink her eye or do any movement for days. But they really
And she was in her comatose state.
Yeah, and that means that hearing is mostly the last sense to be lost. Even people, you can see they are not any responsive in coma. All the, you know, the machine, they can see, you know, brain wave and things, such things, they can still hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happened after you played for her?
And after the music, she put her hand back, and after a while, she passed away peacefully.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, and there are there are so many of, but this is more, you know.
It sounds like she found her way, you know, to heaven. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, I think that's is quite powerful. What you shared to us, and you know, I think everyone needs to find peace in the end, or not just in the end, not in our daily life as well. But for sure, when our physical and biological end comes to it, you know, reaches that point, I think that's what you're doing is quite meaningful, and so I thank you for that. Yeah. And I think that this is what you love to do, clearly, and we can see it in your eyes as well. Going forward, what would you like to do, or do you have a message for just in general that you want to say?
I think generally, I like to say, I think there are maybe two sides of the point I like to say. One side is from the health care for self-care or wellness. I think music is really a medium that's affordable, easy to access. So it's not like medicine or treatment that is very expensive. So I just like to let people know there's always an option with music to help people, you know, about relieve the pain, anxiety, emotion, or people couldn't sleep. Music can do so many ways, and sometimes you can say it's just a distraction. Like the little boy, we don't know is that a distraction or sometimes the science cannot explain everything, and sometimes there are so many factors that's so complex. You cannot say that's the reason, the only reason for what happened. So one thing is I like to say that live music is always an option, and there are so many variety, unlimited possibility with music that help you hear and for wellness. And the other thing is people, if you are a musician or you music lover, that you can really try to find out the music. There are always not right or wrong music, but just the music is appropriate for the moment. And sometimes this appropriate, it can be just silent. Sometimes I think nowadays our world is full of noise, from all kind of machine traffic, hair dryer, blender, mixer, all kind of noise. Sometimes maybe all you need is just silence or a sound from the nature, and that's another thing that I like to share.
Oh, that's beautiful, yeah. And do you have a project or a mission that you're maybe the next project or something that you are working on or would like to see happen for the future?
Yeah, of course, I like people to more inform about what's the possibility, opportunity with element like music that's so available for everyone for entertaining, but also for wellness. But the other thing is that I really enjoy improvising or just play music. So that's why I have a YouTube channel that I have picture of video that while I'm traveling or even at home, that I film the animal and the nature or scenery, or painting artwork that I put music, play the music in the background, so to in a way combine art together. And mostly the music in the project is improvising. The music, they are different from the music you recognize or the music you are unfamiliar. That's two different things. Music you familiar with, it bring you memory, connect with emotion. But if something is new, unfamiliar in a way, it can bring you here and now. So if, for example, that I met some veterans that are from the war in Vietnam, and in a group, mental health setting group, I would ask, the group what music they like and what they don't like. So when someone mentioned a song that's his favorite, the other person in the world say, "Oh, please," they will trigger really bad memory. So it doesn't really matter how nice the music is. It can really trigger memory. And memory sometimes is a good thing, sometimes it's not a good thing.
Absolutely.
So in a way, like new age type of music, or music doesn't have significant melody thing. It just an atmosphere or just new, fresh from other culture thing. It most likely can bring you here and now because it's something new. So your brain had to it's not trigger the memory part, but create a new path. And so for where people had trauma and things, it's always a good idea to try new kind of music you never heard before, or just improvise the music because it's just music at the moment.
Okay, I agree 100%. Okay, is there anything else that you would like to say or
I think that's all. One last thing is, I think I'm also very aware of the noise pollution. I think what I encounter, many people, especially now more young people, they had hearing loss in a young age. You can see you have to scream to them, they cannot hear a tinnitus, thing. Either you hear no noise or hear the noise all the time. I think an important thing is really to protect your hearing. That is important. So if you are in a loud environment, try to really cover your ear so you won't get damaged. Because if you cannot hear, it's like Beethoven. It's not much fun. Cannot hear or you have noise all the time in your ear. So I think that's really also an important thing. Yeah.
Thank you. I think that that advice is probably very useful for me. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you for your time today, and I think that's a very significant and important message that you have, and I just want to thank you again for sharing your words, and through your playing as well, and to help just bring, I guess, just peace and just love and just melodies to this world in the present moment, for everybody, people who really need it at that moment, no matter what their situation is, just to help them get better, in terms of health or emotionally, mentally or spiritually. I think that's about sums up what you do, and I do wish that there are more this movement, I would say, right? This voice should be shared amongst just the community of not just musicians, but just to I guess all music lovers, and that's really in essence everybody on the planet. So thank you again for today, and so please, I'm pretty sure there are some of your music that's online, correct? Would you share with us as well? Where can we find you?
Yeah, our channel's title is The Voice of Meaning.
The Voice of Meaning. Yes.
Yeah, and then there will be many playlists about different type of music and setting and interview as well.
Okay, great. Well, I think that's where we can find your music, and we'll be looking forward to them. All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.